Hi, Larry. This is Veronica Garrett, and I want to say that I enjoyed your video blog. You had so many great things to say. I thought even your golden rule of being a counselor, where you're seeking to understand people, that brought kind of in close proximity with what I said about just being able to show empathy. Because people, the cliche is people don't want to know, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and just the willingness to be understanding and show compassion in a way that people can really feel and to know the genuineness of it. And your scripture was Amos 5:24, and when you started quoting that, I started thinking about Dr. Martin Luther King and how even the things that you said about standing up and speaking for those who cannot necessarily speak up for themselves. It made me really think about how that sense of consciousness, that sense of social consciousness, compels one to speak up on behalf of people who may not be able to speak up from themselves. And you mentioned Chuck Swindoll, and he is one of my favorite writers. And that one book that he wrote, that was The Grace Awakening, that really I just was so blessed by it. But one thing that was Chuck Swindoll, I'm reading a commentary of his Insight for Living series, and on the book of Acts, and he mentions that conflict is inevitable. We should expect it. And he talks about how when there's never anyone disagreeing, he said there's a sure sign of communication breaking down. And so basically, in this commentary, he goes on to explain that harmony is something that should be a rule, but sometimes conflict is a part of it. So I think even with communication being such an essential part of having harmony, because he said if no one is talking, then the conflict has gone underground and people stop caring. And I think sometimes in our nation, what happens when no one is talking about the things that that needs to come up to the surface. And so I really enjoyed your video blog. This has been a great class, and you have a blessed semester in the next semester, and grace to you, grace and blessings. This is my response to your video blog.